there, my name is Jennifer Hoger. I am a personal trainer and group fitness instructor over at Quartz Plus, and today I would like to share with you a couple of circuits that you can do for your core, one for standing and one for being on the floor. Before we begin, I would like to show you this, which unfortunately is backwards, so I will have to read it off. It is our disclaimer. It says, you should consult your physician or other healthcare professional before starting this or any other fitness program to determine if it is right for your needs. If you experience faintness, dizziness, pain, or shortness of breath at any time while exercising, you should stop immediately. If you choose to exercise through this video, you do so at your own risk and acknowledge that the exercises carry an inherent risk of physical injuries. To the extent permitted by law, the Elmhurst Park District and its affiliates disclaim any and all liability in connection with the exercises in this video and any instruction and advice provided. That being said, we're here to have fun. Let's get ourselves moving and warmed up first to make sure we don't have any injuries here today. So, a few just to get your body warmed up, get the blood flowing. I always like to start, it's a nice, easy way to go. Let's start with some body weight squats. So feet hip width, shoulder width apart, weight in the heels, toes pointed pretty much forward. We're going to sit back into that squat, coming down as low as we feel comfortable, squeezing the glutes, knees behind the toes, and then just come back up. Now I want you to really try to focus on squeezing the glutes and pulling in and tightening those abs. Now that doesn't mean pulling in so hard and sucking in so that you hollow out that area. What we want to make sure is that they're just nice and tight. They say about 30% of the strength that you can put into contracting is where you want to try to stay throughout any exercise you're doing. So as you can see, knees are staying behind the toes, sitting back into the squat, chest is up, abs in tight, squeezing the glutes. So we're getting that core nice and warmed up, getting the blood moving, getting the heart rate up a little bit. Now, once we've done that, really warmed up those glutes, you might want to move to a twist, reach. So I'm trying to focus on twisting through my core, warming up the thoracic spine, thinking about squeezing my glute as I turn that foot. So we're warming up the core, warming up the back muscles a little bit, warming up those abs, focusing on the glutes as well. You may wish to even come up and over as you tap out to the side. Now we're stretching through those obliques, through your lat muscles a little bit, your serrats. Those are all big words that you learn as you work out. And then one last final one might be starting with the arms up. Lift your knee, bring the arms down, and then return. So you're kind of doing almost like a standing one-sided crunch. So as you can see, lifting the knee, trying to bring it above the waist. Anytime that you bring that knee above the waist, that's a contraction on that lower abdominal area. And who doesn't want to try to work on that because that is a hard area to hit. Still focusing on squeezing my glutes the whole time, pulling in and tightening those abs as much as I can. Okay, now, as with the other circuits, you may choose to do those exercises a few times to really get the blood moving. You might do it one set each, feel like you're good to go. So just make sure that you are good and warmed up before you start any exercise to avoid injury. Moving on. So the standing circuit that we have, I'm beginning you with a move that I call knee to elbow. So you can have your arms up to start, you can have them out sort of to a Y if you want to start. What we're going to do is we're going to lift one leg and we're going to draw the opposite elbow to that knee. Exhale as you lift, inhale as you come back down. And as you're doing this, as I said, pulling through the abs, squeeze the glutes, seeing it from the side. So as much as you can, pull in, okay? And try to lift the knee Try not to just bend over like this. Lift the knees so you have to engage the core. So when you've done your 8 to 12 perhaps, 6 on each side or 4 depending on your beginning, we're going to move on to the next exercise, which is a straight arm leg oblique crunch. This move is a little challenging. It requires some flexibility, some range of motion. What it's going to look like, I'd recommend maybe placing a hand on a wall for support and balance. Your arm and leg start up and out, kind of like we did with the regular bent oblique crunches. And you're going to try to draw your arm to your foot and come back down, out to the side. This is crunching through here. Now, if you don't have that flexibility, you can try to just do a little lift with the leg, and maybe bring the arm down farther. And if that's really not a great option for you, go back to the original knee to elbow. Okay? Focusing always on exhaling as you lift and squeezing through your side. Do your 8 to 12 on that side, and then we're going to switch to trying to do the straight arm leg crunch on the other side. Now, as you can see, I'm reasonably strong and balanced, so I can put my weight on this leg, which makes it easy for me to lift the other leg and focus on squeezing through here rather than just lifting. And I'm lifting, not kicking. I'm lifting the leg. Okay, done your 8 to 12 on that side. Moving on to the third exercise in this circuit, which is good mornings. Now, your basic good morning with no weight, as you may or may not have weight to use. You're placing your hands behind your head, feet are hip width, shoulder width apart, little bend in the knees, abs in tight, shoulders back, chest out. You're going to hinge at the hips, trying to keep your back straight the entire time. Come forward. I like to do a 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up. 2, 3, 4. Now I'd recommend doing that 8 to 12 times. The benefit of taking it 4 counts is that, first of all, you don't get dizzy. Some people have trouble with vertigo going up and down fast. And it allows you to focus on squeezing your glutes, squeezing the hamstrings a little bit, mainly the glutes, pulling in the abs, and therefore keeping your lower back safe. If you're jerking up and down because you're going too fast, you're bound to hurt your lower back. So try to think about being focused, slow, and controlled. Done your 8 to 12 of those? All right. Last one that I'm suggesting for standing on this circuit is called wood choppers. Now for this one, if you have it, especially, I'd like to recommend grabbing one weight. If you don't have a weight, that's okay. You can do it with body weight. So we're going to take that weight up in the air, and I'm just going to do squats for these wood choppers. So I'm going to bring the weight down to the side of your knee, doing a slight squat with it, and then bring that weight back up and across your body. Bring it down and across, up and across. So you're going to do 8 to 12 one way. And as you can see, like I said, I'm doing kind of a little squat with this. That's why those squats in the beginning were useful. And up, down, and up. Do your 8 to 12 on that side, and then of course, got to even it out. Do your 8 to 12 on the other side. Really remember focusing on pulling in and keeping those abs tight so that we're using them for this, keeping your back nice and safe. Do your 8 to 12 of that, take a 30-second to 1 minute rest, and go back up to those knee to elbows and try to do the entire circuit again without stopping until you get to the end again. Do as many circuits as you feel like you comfortably can, and then you're done. All right, now for those of you who would like to get on the floor, or maybe in addition would like to get on the floor, I'm going to show you another circuit to do down here. So first exercise, oldie but goodie, one of my favorites, crunches. So you lay down. Knees are up at a 90-degree angle. Hands behind the head. Now, one important thing to remember here is we're not trying to just bend our neck, okay? The focus is right here in the abs. So I like to try to pick a point on the ceiling and stare at it to keep my neck in neutral spine. Exhale and lift up. Inhale and come back down. Now, as you can see, when I do it, my knees come in a little bit as I'm lifting and then come back down. You don't have to do that, but I feel like it just helps to engage the core a little bit more, especially once again, that lower ab region. Exhale, come up. Inhale, down. Exhale up. Inhale, down. Do your 8 to 12 of those. Then we're going to move on to leg drops. Now, leg drops, kind of just exactly as it sounds. So you were already in a crunch position. Now, we're going to have those legs straight. You can place the hands behind the head if you want. The head's going to stay down, pulling and tightening those abs. We're just going to drop one leg, keeping the other leg straight up. Bring that leg back up. Drop the other leg and bring back up. So, leg down, leg up, leg down, leg up. Now, obviously, if you're more advanced, you can try doing both at the same time. Legs down together, and then legs up together. Now, if you choose to do it that way, though, I want you to try to really focus on pulling in those abs. A lot of people have a tendency to do something called tenting, where they push the abs out. It kind of makes a little tent here. Don't do that. Train your abs how you want them to lay. Pull them in, keep them tight. Now, after your leg drops, 8 to 12, if you want to maybe go up in this number, so people might want to do 16, 8 on each leg, or maybe you're doing them both together and you can barely squeak out 8 of them. Good for you. Remember, choose the level that works for you. All right, then we have swimmers. So this is going to focus more on the back. We did standing swimmers last time. Now these are going to be swimmers on the floor. So these are very sort of similar to something called Superman, in which you lay down and you lift both arms and legs at the same time. It's down here, makes it a little easier to try to see what I'm doing, hopefully. All right, so legs and arms are straight out. You're going to try to lift both arms and legs at the same time. Once again, head is facing down so that it's a neutral spine. Pull in the abs tight here so you protect your back, and once again, so you don't tent. And then we're going to just flutter. You can do this for a certain amount of counts or reps in your own head. Another way to do this that's a little bit more lower key is to lift the arm and the opposite leg, come back down, lift the other arm and opposite leg, and come back down. If you do this slow and controlled, you will feel it in your lower back. You will feel it in your hamstrings and in your glutes, but you will stay safe. So those are 2 variations of swimmers. Choose the level that you feel works for you. Obviously, the first way is a little bit more challenging. Now, the last exercise for this floor circuit here is something called a V-up. Now, they have V-ups where your body just comes up into a V. These are going to be for your sides. So you're going to lay down, I recommend on your elbow. One arm is going to come up. One way that you can do this is to just lift the top leg and the top arm and come back down. So this is kind of like doing those straight arm leg obliques crunches that I showed you in the standing portion, only on the floor. If you'd like to take this up a notch, I find that I have to turn a little bit, but I'm still focusing on squeezing through here, and you lift both legs with the arm. Once again, exhale as you lift. Pull in and tighten through here, and obviously through your obliques. So, whichever version you choose, do your 8 to 12 at least on each side, if possible. Switch over and do your 8 to 12 on the other side. All right. Once you have finished that part of the circuit, you're done with it. So take your 30-second to 60-second rest and go back and try to see if you can do another set of all of the exercises to complete another circuit. Do as many circuits as you feel like you comfortably can, and then at the very end, try to make sure that you stretch out. Now in another video, I showed you how to do a few stretching moves. I'll show you a couple real fast here. So to stretch out those hips and glutes, one great way that I love, laying down, legs start at 90 degrees. Cross one leg over the other. You're going to take your arm and stick it through this hole that's created by doing that. Grab either at your knee or under by your hamstring. A lot of times this is easier. And then try to pull your leg in. If you're a little more flexible, pulling it at the knee might be better. If you're not as flexible, you might find that this is plenty enough. Oh, and try to make sure you keep your head down while you're doing this. I know that sometimes I even have a tendency to pull up, but that's not good. It takes your spine out of alignment. You don't want to do that. So pull it in, stretch it out. And then of course, got to switch to the other side. Taking my hand, sticking it through the hole, grabbing my knee or under by the hamstring, and pulling it in. Now these stretches you can hold, I usually do for around 15 seconds. If you choose to hold them longer, that's fine. Try to make sure you don't overstretch. If you feel a burning sensation, those muscles are overstretching, please stop what you're doing immediately or at least back it off enough that it doesn't burn. So that's a good one for hips or glutes. Another way of doing this, starting with the legs out straight, cross one leg over the other, pull the knee to your opposite shoulder, and turn into that leg. You should feel the stretch all the way through here, maybe even into your lower back. Sometimes people will feel it even in their hamstrings. Get done with that side, of course. Just gently switch to the other side. Good. Okay, now for stretching out the abs, a couple of good things you can do. Lay down. Start with your elbows by your chest, palms flat on the floor. I want you to push into the palms of your hands. Exhale and gently lift your torso up. That's a nice stretch through the abs. And come back down. If you're feeling up for it, try sliding your hands down so they're next to your chest. Once again, exhale, push up. And that stretches through the abs. And come back down. Last thing I might recommend to try to help you stretch out a little bit is something that everybody pretty much knows called child's pose. You're going to sit on your heels or as much as you can. Bring your hands out in front of you and stretch them out. Bring your head down to look at the floor so that your neck is in neutral spine. Walk your fingers out as far in front of you as you can when you do this, so you really stretch through those muscles in your back. You might feel it in your shoulders or your arms too. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want a little further stretch, one way or the other, try walking your hands over to the opposite side that you want to feel the stretch on. Walking it over to the other side. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me. I hope that these exercises are helpful to you. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing you back at Quartz Plus as soon as we can. Take care.